What's up, everyone? Welcome to another live podcast with Earthworks Hub. Today it's Sunday, the 9th of February 2025. Thank you to everyone that's joined. A lot of people have already jumped on. I'll go back and make a few announcements there. So Pro Excavation and Civil, Northeast Land Clearing, Drew Excavation, Jenna Troy, Wayne Robinson, the Excavator Bloke, Able Mini Excavators, HLM Earthworks, Cooper, SEQ Dirtworks, all about dirt, Zach Caney, Bailey McKenzie. Oh, I'm running out of breath here, but thank you very much so far to everyone that's joined for this Sunday live session. Plastube has joined, TR Society as well, so thank you very much, guys. I'm your host, Ivan Orlovic. This is Earthworks Hub, where we connect the industry. So it's all about connecting everyone together, sharing stories, learning from each other, all that stuff. So, and trying to bring discounts to all the viewers and things like that, which we'll talk about a bit more in a second. So Jenna Troy saying afternoon, and it's another Sunday done and dusted. It sure is. It's Sunday. I am absolutely knackered. I had a massive day. I took out my Tirana and went to the Picnic at Hanging Rock car show. So that's a massive car show down here in Woodend in Victoria. So it's at the Hanging Rock. I think that's an actual volcano. I think it used to be a volcano. They have a massive car show there once a year, and it was a big turnout today. Very, very warm. Did a lot of laps walking around looking at all the cars. So I am absolutely knackered. And then I rushed home, tried to quickly get everything and get it all ready for this session. And I made it. So that's it. I'm here. But I'll tell you what, every time I go to these car shows, it's actually pretty bad. It's like I come home and now I've got all these ideas of what things I want to do to my car. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to mini tub it. I'm going to put bigger wheels. I'm going to work the motor. I'll start thinking of all these things. And then, I just think about all the money I'm going to spend. So then what happens is I get overwhelmed and I'll do nothing. The car just stays the same. Aha, Moba's just joined. Hopefully you can see the merch here, repping Moba. Drew Excavation saying the bloke from last live. He's changed his name. Drew, thank you. Sash 2000 is saying, do you know any good plumbers in Melbourne? Oh, mate, there's a lot of plumbers around. Whether they're good or not, I don't know. There's a lot of them around, man. There's a lot. What I can do, I'll send me a message, and then what I'll do, Sash 2000, send me a message, and I'll send a couple of guys out to you. Also, check the website. Go to www.earthworkshub.com.au and check under the plumbers section, and there might be some already on there, so you can even do that. Just type in, do Victoria as the region, and then do plumbers, and you'll see it should come up. The choice of drink tonight, I'm hitting the water. I was going to get some scotch, and then I thought, I'm dehydrated from today. The worst thing would be now is to have a drink. I reckon I'll be finished. So tonight's drink of choice, care of Digga, is water, plain old water. Moba saying they just saw the t-shirt. Yeah, there you go. He's saying cheers. And how's your week been? My week has been busy. Busy. Always doing something, running around, whether it's for the podcast or for the business, or excavation wise, or for the house. Always something, man. And Josh is saying it's an almond latte. That's right. Yeah. He's referring back to our podcast a few weeks back when we were talking about how everyone doesn't like an average or normal cappuccino anymore. It has to be almond, soy, half strength, skinny, I don't know, all these different types. Now, being busy. One thing that you'll notice is in the background here, and Plastube has joined as well. I'm going to announce this. So this episode, or this podcast, is dedicated to our sponsor, Plastube. So Plastube have provided me with a sample of what they actually do. So if you can see here that massive pipe behind, that's going to stay in the background. That is basically what they do. So they manufacture and supply durable column formwork. So they make them out of PVC, anything from 250mm to 1 meter and 50. So they can do like massive columns, like formwork. If your hole blows out and when you're drilling a hole and you want to put concrete in it, you can use these as a bit of formwork. and they can also custom build them, so up to 2 meters. So that's what Plastube do. So this episode is dedicated to Plastube. So thank you for being a sponsor. And Josh Jr. Max saying it's all in a bit of fun and banter. If you don't laugh, you cry. Yes, referring back to the almond latte. Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. Drew Excavation's got a question. What is the best 25-ton excavator? He's very quick with the questions. Drew was the young fella that joined me last week. Very interesting conversation. Plastube giving me a thumbs up. That's it. No worries, mate. So, yeah, Drew jumped on the other day talking about what sort of posi tracks are good to have. For a young kid, I'll tell you what, he was very experienced in different machines, and we had a good chat about different types of posi tracks that he has used, and he's got a little 1.7-ton digger. Good to see a little kid so keen, and happy to join in with conversations and that. So well done to you, Drew. Best 23, was it 23-ton you said? Or 25, what do you say? Let me go back. Let me go. Where did he go? Hang on, I've lost him. What's the best 25-ton? Well, it's very, very hard to pick one. Nigger in the Digga saying a Cabalco SK235. They are pretty good, yes. Jenna Troy is saying a cat, but he doesn't want to be biased. That's a good question. Komatsu. So here we go. M. Attard Earthworks is saying a Komatsu PC240. So we're getting a mixed range of opinions here. It's a mixed range. It all depends, man, on what sort of comfort you like, what power you like. They're all good in different ways. If you're looking at a 25-ton machine, I reckon that like a zero swing one is handy with a blade on it. So I'll definitely recommend one with a blade. That way you can stabilize yourself when you're working over the blade or digging down deep, or if you're trying to load trucks that are a bit further out and you can't reach. So I would say definitely have a blade. Definitely Moba is saying that if you do get a 25-ton, make sure it's fitted with a Moba 3D. There you go. That makes it dig even better. Sydney Rockwall is seconding a Cabalco. So I don't know. It depends. Yeah. And then Jenna Troy saying, yeah, it depends on what you want to do with it. I've had two SK210s. So I had two SK or Cabalco 21-tonners. All these had a tail on them. They weren't the 235s. But good machines. They were good. They did the job. I was happy with them. And Sydney Rockwalls is saying you also need to get one with an Encon, so that way it can be fancy. There you go, man. With oil quick. Oh, there you go. Oh, we're getting a whole bunch of opinions here. But it's I don't know. It's hard to answer and get down to one specific machine. I did see in the Case 235 recently. Very happy with that machine as well. You can go to my YouTube videos and you'll see a video recently where I was digging in a 235. What do you call it? A CX 235. Awesome machine, man. But definitely having a blade on there makes it a lot stabler. So I will definitely recommend that. And Drew Excavations is saying if you know how to use it, it's all good. Yeah, that's it, man. But definitely I would say you need to have a blade on it. And Nigger in the Digger saying something with pilot controls, not electric. There you go. All right. So, going back to Plastube, thank you for being a sponsor. Thank you to all the other sponsors. You will find a list of all the sponsors in the description for the podcast. So there's a whole bunch there, but this one's dedicated to Plastube. So thank you again. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or an affiliate, hit me up as well. Yeah, send me an email or send a message on Instagram, and we'll chat. All right, let me go through a couple of posts throughout the week so we can talk about that, and that'll probably spark a bit of conversation. But what I will do is I'll invite people to jump on tonight again. So the last few weeks has been a bit of a hit. Everyone's telling me they love that I'm having mixed people on and we're having chats and that. So I'm happy to have people on. Let me just go through a couple of things here, and then I'll invite someone on. So if you're keen, get ready to join me. But just let me get through this quickly. So the first thing I want to talk about, and that's really big news, is you get 5% off products from Earthmoving Warehouse. So I've teamed up with my sponsor, Earthmoving Warehouse, and they're giving all the viewers 5% off on their online store or on the telephone. So if you don't want to use the online, or you're not sure how to use it and you still like the old telephone, you can also use my discount code over the phone. So all you do is ring up and say, Eworks Hub, and then buy whatever product you want, and you'll get 5% off. So that's good. It might not sound like a lot, but when you're doing that over a lot of time and over a lot of products, not many places will offer that. So definitely go on and use my discount code Eworks Hub, and that's on Earthmoving Warehouse. Yeah, that's it. All right. Hang on a second. I've missed a couple of things there. We've got a lot of people joining here. Atacama's joined. Godings, welcome. LGK, Jeremy, Luke, BMG Earthmoving as well. So thank you for joining, guys. We've got a big crowd tonight. Thank you all for your participation. Nigga and the Digga's having a bit of a shot. Earthmoving Warehouse. That's it. I don't. Jenna Troy is asking, do I have a discount code for Moasure? I don't as yet. They're in the middle of setting that up, so I will have one soon, hopefully. But I'm gonna press them to move along on that. But I will. So once I get one, I'll definitely let you know. Josh Junior Mac has a good question. What do you look for in buying a new machine? Hold that thought. 1 second. Hold that thought. All right. Let me just go through the posts, and then we'll hit that question, man. That's a good one. All right, so yes, you can use that code on the phone, or you can use that code online, and that's Eworks Hub. So it's also on my website. If you're not sure, go to my website, earthworkshub.com.au, scroll down and you'll see Earthmoving Warehouse. There's a big banner there, and you can just click on it and take you to the store. And I'm inviting people, if you want to have some posts put up on myself. So if you look at a lot of posts that Jack Healy from EMBE has been sending me recently, and they've been getting a lot of hits. If you've got a video that's interesting and you think this would be good to send out to everyone, like his little, I call them Jack's hacks. I've made his own little hashtag. If you've got some good suggestions for viewers you think they might benefit out of it, send me the videos and I'll post them up for you as well. So Jack's done a lot of good ones for us. One was prepping his auger drive for screw piles. So he was putting a differential valve in there and then cleaning it out. So thank you to Jack for providing those videos. They got a lot of hits, man. People love that. Also, he sent his toolbox on his ute. So we were talking the other day about what you should have as a bare minimum on your work ute. So he sent in a full video of his work ute setup, and people love that Land Cruiser. Everyone's been hitting me up. They're all asking me if it's mine. I wish it was. I wish. But it's a really, really good setup, and he shows you all the tools that he's got on there. If you haven't seen that post, go and look for it. That is from Jack Healy from EMBE Hire. So yeah, that was really good. Then he showed us how to install. An idea that he came up with was to install an Anderson plug on his DPU. So on his whacker, if you don't use a whacker for a long time, the battery can go flat. So he created some Anderson plug points to come out of the battery, so you don't have to keep taking it all apart to rip the battery out and charge it. So this way you can leave it on trickle charge. So it was excellent, man. Excellent footage from him. And what else did he do? Yeah, so he showed us his Faber toolbox. So he reckons that's really, really good. So thank you to Jack. And if, like I said, if you've got some videos that you think will be interesting for our viewers, send them to me as well on Instagram, and I'll post them up for you. Now, what else was there? Oh yes, so I released a podcast this week with Sean from the Shaka Project. I don't know if you've seen that symbol around. So we spoke about mental health. So that is a topic that I think we really, really need to push and create more awareness for in our industry. And we spoke about suicide ideation. I never even knew what that was. So suicide ideation is where you're having ideas about suicide. You're thinking about it. So we spoke about that, depression, anxiety. We spoke about the signs for someone being, like having mental health issues, how to approach them, and what help is available for everyone. So that was a good podcast that came out, very important for our field. A lot of people were asking me when I'm going to do a mental health one, and we finally did it. So thank you very, very much, Sean from the Shaka Project. I don't know if he's joined us this evening, but thank you very much for that podcast. And you know what? Keep your eyes peeled. There's going to be a lot more coming. We're going to do a couple of segments called Mental Matters. So now I've got Marketing Matters, Money Matters, Maintenance Matters, and we're going to do Mental Matters. So we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things regularly. And Nigga and the Digga saying, yeah, he's been there. So yeah, there's a lot of people that have probably been there, and you don't know until someone actually brings it up, and then you're like, shit, he's in the same boat. I've been there. I've done that. So we were talking about opening up conversations, and he was calling it the bro ball effect, and how once you start opening up to people, they'll start opening up back to you. And I'll tell you what, man, it was very, very good. And I even revealed some of the things I suffer. Sometimes I get a little bit anxious about situations, and I've had little mental health issues here and there, and been overwhelmed and stuff. And it happens. It happens to the most of us. So I think being open about it and having a chat to someone about things can really, really help before it goes too far. Yeah. So anyway, if you haven't seen that episode, I won't rattle on too much about it. Go and see that episode, the Shaka Project with Sean, and you'll see it on my Spotify or YouTube anyway, if you want to go listen. So what else was there? And then I also posted a snippet from an old podcast I did with I think it was Jack and Andrew. It was a podcast where we talked about whether it's worth owning a truck. I got a lot of feedback on that one. So I think overall the winner was that it's not worth having one, but it's the necessary evil. I think in the end you have to have one. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's have a look here before I continue. 1 second. We had some questions. LJH is saying, should have painted the Plastube logo backwards so it's not backwards in the video. Oh, yes. Well, the funny thing is, this video is reversed. So for some reason, every time I edit this podcast, Instagram always flips the screen. So I have to always mirror it and send it back again. So while I'm live, it'll be mirrored the wrong way. But when I actually edit it and post it up, it'll be back to normal. So I don't know why Instagram does that. It doesn't allow me to have it mirrored. It's crazy. All right, so Josh Junior Mac had a really good question, so I thought I better go back to that. He was asking, what do you look for in buying a new machine? So let's get some advice here, people. What are you looking for when you're buying a new machine? I would say, one, if you're looking at a new machine, you need to look at where you're buying it from. Nah, Plastube, it's not your bad. It's all good. That'll actually turn around once I do once I mirror the edited version. Don't worry, it's all good. My Black Plastube is saying he's bad for doing the Plastube sign wrong. It's not you. It's the camera. Yeah, when you're looking for a new machine. Okay, so let's answer his question, Josh Junior Mac. First thing I would be looking at is who you're buying it from. If you're buying it from a dealership, have a look at that dealership. Are they going to be the ones servicing it for you? What do they offer with their servicing? Is there like a priced package, or is it like a fixed price? Look at their service department. Have they got lots of vehicles? Can they get to you quick? Yeah, there you go. Nigger and the Digga saying dealer support and manufacturer warranty. So that's the other thing. Look at the warranty. How long does it go for? Is it 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? What does it cover? Is it just a few things? Is it just engine and moving parts, or is it the whole structure? Like, you got to check out the warranty properly, see what it offers, because sometimes you might get caught out and they'll say that's not part of warranty, that's not covered, or that's wear and tear. So you got to have a look at that. The other thing is, if you're buying a new machine, you need to know what machine you want. So for starters, you need to know what machine you want. So it doesn't have to be an excavator. It can be a Positrack excavator, whatever. First, know what you want, but then also make sure that you know what size you want. So you don't just go and get randomly one or two things. The wrong size, because then it's very, very hard to go back once you've bought it. Look at the finance they offer. See if they can help you out with finance. Nigger and the Digga is saying, ooh, good suggestion. He's saying try hiring it first to see its capabilities. That's a good answer. So if you've got a machine that you're looking at, that you're interested in, see if you can rent one somewhere for a little bit and try it out. That's a good way to do it. And sometimes, I don't know if it happens often or not, maybe you can talk to the dealer. They might have one you can use as well. So if they know that you're really, really happy, or you're really serious about buying one, they might be able to give you one to loan and try out. Jenna Troy is saying, look at the resale value. That is another valid point. So look at machines that are going to be getting you some good money when you sell them, because what happens is, if you buy something that's on the cheaper end, or sometimes, a lot of people talk about all these new Chinese machines that are coming out and that. I don't know, work out what the resale value is. You know, if you look at something like a cat machine, they always end up reselling for a good amount because people know that they're reliable, and you know they've been around for a long time and all that sort of stuff. So look at the resale value, and he's also saying ask other owners. So that's another thing. So it's good to go around to see someone that's got a similar machine and just ask them their opinion, or someone that may have had that machine in the past. So ask them, say, what do you think of it? What was your experience? How was the dealership with you? Was it easy to get parts? Are they readily available, or do you have to wait weeks for them to get imported? You know, are they interchangeable with other machines? Can you get parts from somewhere else? Can you get your own mechanic to do stuff if you don't want the dealer to do it? You got to look at what options does it come with? Does it come with? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you just said it. Does it come with a tilt hitch or no tilt hitch? Yeah, Josh Junior Max saying another one is tilt hitch or no tilt hitch. Oof, that's another question. Oh, that's going to cost you this one, I'll tell you. And Jenna Troy saying back to just the machine. Let's cover that one first. Look at the cost over life as well, because you want to make sure that you got to look at what it's going to cost you over the time that you have it. And think about also how long you plan to have it for. Yeah, so you think about your long-term plan. Are you just going to have it for 10 years and stay in that same machine? Or are you going to try and resell it? Because if you're going to stay in it forever, then you might not have to worry about resale. But if you're planning on turning them over, then it's a different story. And Nigger and the Digga saying, try not to buy machines that predominantly are in rental fleets because it affects their resale. That's true, because if there's a lot of rental ones around, that means that they're going to sell, a lot of those machines are going to be up on the market. So when you go to sell yours, you're going to be competing with them. So that is another good point. Yeah, some really good points there, man. So thank you very much for that, Nigger and the Digga. And Rickster, is it? Says turn them over under 4,000 hours. There you go, man. Now, Rickster was asking to come on. Hang on a second. Let's have a look. 1 second. Rickster, are you still keen to come on? I saw a request come up there. So I did say that I will let people come on. Just 1 second. There was that question from Josh about... he was talking about... So hopefully we answered enough there about buying a new machine. So there's a lot of things to hopefully take in that we just said. Josh Jr. is also asking, so to get a tilt hitch or no tilt hitch? Or just opt for a tilt bucket? You know what? I think I did a full podcast on that. So if you go back through my old podcasts, you'll see where we actually spoke about the tilt hitch versus a non-tilt hitch. And I think we also threw a tilt muddy in there. But if just in brief, I suppose, that also depends on what type of work you're doing. If you're just hammering all day or drilling all day with your machine and you hardly ever do any detail work, then maybe you don't need a tilt hitch, you know what I mean? But if you're doing a lot of detail work, if you're doing some landscaping or you're doing, like final trim and stuff, then a tilt bucket, a tilting hitch would be good. And the good thing about a tilting hitch is that you can put other buckets on with it. So if you want to dig a trench using your smaller GP buckets or trenching buckets, you can use the tilt as well with the smaller ones. Whereas if you get a tilting bucket, like a tilting muddy, then you just only have the muddy that can tilt, and you got to get in and out and connect the hoses all the time. That's the other thing, and they can get snagged, and there's a few other things. But if you're hammering a lot and stuff, and you don't want to destroy the tilt hitch, then maybe the tilt bucket is good for you in that circumstance, because then you can just, if you know you're going to hammer, you take the bucket off, and then just put your hammer back on the regular hitch. Whereas with the tilt hitch, it'll be on there all the time, so you'll be doing the same thing. And Godings is saying, here we go, some good input. Godings is saying you need to understand that a tilt hitch affects the breakout due to lengthening the dipper arm. That's right. So the other thing is, if you do put a tilting hitch on, you're lengthening the amount of your dipper arm to, as you saw in a video that I put out recently with JR Safety Co., it affects your lifting capacity and tipping point, because now your arm is longer and you have more weight at the end of it. So now you've reduced your lifting capacity, which is something that JR Safety Co. brought to all of our attention in a video I did recently at their facility. That, a lot of people don't realize that, and then that means their chart changes. So your chart is actually wrong, your loading or lifting chart, is incorrect once you put a tilting hitch on there. So hopefully a lot of people know that. If you don't, JR Safety Co will come out and they can actually do a new tilting point test on your machine and amend the load chart for you. And Godings is saying, yeah, the tilt hitch generally means going one size smaller in mud bucket. That's true. And I'll give you an example. So speaking of Godings, on my Kubota U55, I opted for the 1200mm muddy instead of the 1500 muddy, because once I put the tilting hitch on, and then if I had a 1500 muddy, as soon as I loaded that bucket up, the machine will start tilting, bouncing around, very hard to detail with. So I had to go down to a 1200, so that way it wasn't as heavy. So that's what they're talking about, which is not a bad thing. It just means that, you might have to do that one extra scoop sometimes. But I found also going with a smaller bucket was good for detailing, because then I could get around little posts and get around like light poles and stuff easier with a smaller bucket. And you could see each edge of the bucket, being only 1200mm wide, you could see both ends of the bucket past your dipper arm. Whereas sometimes when you've got a 1500, it's too big and you can't see each end of it. So yeah, once you put a tilting hitch on, it does affect your lifting capacity, your tipping point, and it also lengthens the arm. So you affect your breakout force. So some very, very good points there, man. Ha! Nigger in the Digga saying he's going to leave. So yeah, Godings, thank you for that information. That very, very valuable information. And that's why some people do opt for the tilting muddy, so that way it doesn't affect their lifting capacity and whatever, so they can take it off, they can keep hammering, doesn't affect the tilt hitch. Although I have to admit, I had tilt hitches on a lot of my last few machines, and we used to hammer with them and do heaps of stuff, and it was fine. They used to be alright. So my last Kubota I had for, I think, nearly 4,000 hours, or three something. No, probably about 3,000 hours. And they had a tilting hitch on there, and I did hammering very, very often with that, and no problem. Still worked like a dream. So it depends on what size machine, how hard you treat it, who's in there, all that sort of jazz. So hopefully we have answered your question there. Ready to go, Josh Jr. Just let me know if you want us to answer any more, but that's what it is. Oh, and ADM Civil, sorry Alex, I missed that note. Yeah, ADM said that you ask a mechanic about certain machines. So going back to what to look for when you're looking for a new machine, ask your mechanic as well, man. So ADM is saying he had an arm fatigue crack on a 5-tonner running too big a bucket on it, on a tilt hitch. There you go, man. There you go. Yeah, I think I had a Kobelco SK50, and I had also a fatigue crack at the top of the dipper arm. Because we were overloading it, straining it, and that. So it can happen, man. It can definitely happen. It can definitely happen. Josh Jr., another question. He's a man with many questions. Is anyone still running backhoe controls? Hey, you know what? These are actually good questions. Is anybody running backhoe controls? That's a good one, because they seem to still keep making machines with all the the pattern changes. Yeah, there you go. So Nigger and the Digga saying most minis have pattern changes, but I don't know anyone. Actually, yeah, I actually don't know anyone that uses the backhoe pattern. I think everyone just sticks with excavator. Yeah, let us know who here still uses the backhoe pattern. That would be interesting to know. I know a lot of guys that have been in the industry for a long time probably learnt on backhoe pattern, but I think everyone's just adapted nowadays. Mountain Machinery saying Kobelco 14 tonners and up don't have it as standard now. Oh, so they don't give you a pattern changer. There you go. So there you go, man. And ADM is saying only change it to backhoe to mess with the new hot shots. Yeah, that is a good one, man. My workers used to do that when we used to be back at the yard on rain days. We used to go back and do some servicing. And they used to get me every time, man. They'll flick the switch, and then they'll say, "Oh, we're finished that machine. Do you want to go move it?" So I jump in, and they all have a good laugh because I look like the biggest twit. I can't bloody move it. Oh, and it takes me a few seconds. And even though they used to get me all the time, I still fell for it every time. And SEQ Dirtworks is saying he thinks a lot of people in the States are still running backhoe. Yeah, maybe, man. And they do things different in America, of course. And Nigger and the Digga saying, yeah, nowadays it's backhoe on backhoe and Digga on a Digga. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, they're probably making it more standard. And Rick's Day saying, Hazarati still use backhoe controls. Hazarati? Who's a Hazarati? Is that Hitachi? Maybe your spell checker fixed it? I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, they're good questions though, man. I like that. Yeah, does anyone still use the backhoe controls? Let us know. That'd be very interesting to see. I don't know anyone that does. But yeah, all the small ones still do. A lot of the 1.7s and that, you can just flick the little lever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really I can't use it in backhoe mode. I've got no idea. Dixon Civil saying Mile Man can't use anything but backhoe patterns, so it's handy to have. Yeah, that's what I was saying. A lot of the older school guys that have been in there for a long time probably got used to the backhoe mode, and now they're the ones that probably still need it. And then as we change and they sort of move on, then it will probably just become everyone's just on the excavator pattern. And Mountain Machinery saying, yeah, you definitely need it on hire machines. I suppose you do. You need to have it on there so that anyone that hires it can use it. Because if you restrict it to one pattern, you're restricting your customers, your customer base. ADM Civil is saying he learnt on backhoe controls and then had a hard time learning excavator controls. Yeah, that would be a hard thing, man. Learning on one way and then having to change. Jack Healy's joined us. I was just talking about you a bit earlier. Earthmoving Warehouse, are you still on here as well? He was on here a bit earlier. I was telling everyone at the start about the 5% off. So for anyone that didn't hear that at the start, if you use my code eworkshub, you can get 5% off on the Earthmoving Warehouse website online, or if you prefer to use the phone, you can ring up and just mention the code and you still get the 5% off. So it's only for a limited time. Make sure you go and use it. Some good deals to be had. Josh Junior Mac is saying, going on from last week, Bobcat, we have foot and hand controls. What do people prefer, hands or feet? I ask a lot of questions. No, it's true. You know what, Josh? You're keeping the flow going. So you're saying, do we prefer hand and foot controls or just joystick? I can tell you my preference very, very easily. I definitely cannot use the foot controls. I sat in one of those little Toyota Huskies and I felt like a beginner. I was working for a landscaping mob and they said, can you just jump in the Husky? Because obviously all my posi tracks or CTLs and that are all joystick, so I'm so used to that, so comfortable with it. And they said, can you just jump in that Husky and just load up the truck with some mulch? And I was like, yeah, no worries. I'll look like the biggest beginner ever. Like, they were looking at me going, who the hell's that in the machine? Does this guy know what he's doing? And then like one of the guys got frustrated. He's like, mate, get out, let me just load it and it will be done quicker. So after a few times, I think it was like after a whole day on it, I did manage to get a bit better at it and get some flow, but it was shocking, man. So definitely joysticks for me. And that's only because that's what I learnt on. Because then once I jumped back in my posi track, I was like doing all the detail work and a total different ball game. Oh my gosh, there's heaps of people here. Hang on a second. I've missed all these questions. Oldie25 is saying, we fit pattern changes to all of the case rental fleet to accommodate for all. It still gets requested. There you go, man. So that's there's the answer. Yeah. So I suppose you have to have the pattern changes on. Yeah. So you're saying as well that your machines don't all come with the pattern changer, because someone was saying the Cabelco 14 tonners don't have standard pattern changes anymore. So maybe you guys are the same. I was just telling everyone before about the Case 235, how I really enjoyed using it, because one of my mates had it and I worked for him for a day, and that was actually a nice machine to use. Jack Healy saying, hand and foot for real men. I mustn't be a real man now. Nigger and the Digger saying, hands now after years of foot. I suppose, yeah, you would get sick of the thing, sick of feet. ADM saying, bring back the T-bar. Was that the Mustangs? Was that the Mustangs that used to have the T-bar? And Jack Healy saying, yeah, the smokers used to love the T-bar, yeah, because they could always smoke as well. Sydney Rockwell saying, definitely joystick. Dixon Civil saying, copy on the smokers with the T-bar. And Josh Jr. saying, look out, Jack's hacks. That's it. Jack's hacks, do you like them? Oldie 25 is saying the case machines have factory fitted from 1.7 to 6, then they retrofit them from 8 ton up. There you go. All right, thank you very much for that, Danny. Yeah, so there you go. That's true then. So they're not including them as standard anymore. There you go. I wonder if that's across all machines. If anyone else can confirm anything from 8 ton and up, whether they actually have the backhoe pattern option. And Sam Axe Excavations and Landscaping saying hands and feet are the realest. Yeah. Mountain Machinery saying Cabalco is 8 ton and up too. Yeah, there you go, man. So a lot of them aren't giving you both options. How's that, man? I never knew. I thought it was just standard. Maybe we should ask Drew. Where's young Drew, mate? That kid knew a lot last week. Very, very surprised for a young kid to know so much about machinery. Drew, if you're still on here, give us your opinion, mate. Hands and feet, or joystick. What's your preference on the bobcats or the skiddies or whatever you want to call them, CTLs? There's too many names for these things. MW Civil has joined. MW Civil has started following me. Oh, thanks for following me. Legend. Also, for anyone that has joined and doesn't know, you can add your business to our website. So if you go to earthworkshub.com.au, I've got on there a directory for events, for jobs, so you can advertise jobs on there if you're looking for workers. You can advertise events if you're having some type of event, like all diesel turf and all that, they're all on there. What else did I say? Jobs, events, tip sites. So I'm building a list of tip sites on there. So that way, if you're looking for a tip site, you can just go to Earthworks Hub, click on tip site, what state you're in, and it'll give you all the tips on there, so you don't get stuck. And that's if you're getting rid of any type of material. So there's already a few on there. If you want, you can add more. If you've got a little tip site or a big quarry or whatever, put it on there so everyone can find it. And then you can put your businesses on there. So I've got a directory with more than, how many on there? There's already over 100 and something businesses already listed on there. And that's anything from earthworks guys to excavation companies to formwork to concreters to suppliers, machine rentals, sales, dry hire, all that stuff. Everyone's on there. Surveyors, architects. I've got drafties on there. So anyone that you need for the earthworks industry is on there. So you can go and look for people that you need on there, or you can add your business on there. And at the moment it's free. So go on there and put your business on there so everyone can find you. Like I was saying, Earthworks Hub is about connecting everyone, and that's what the website is there for. Speaking of listings, I almost forgot I was supposed to do the listing of the week. So the listing of the week for this week is ProPag Civil. And ProPag Civil and Earthworks, they're in Victoria, and he actually chose to do a featured listing. So that one's a little bit extra, but it means you get featured on the front page as well. So when people click on the website and they go down the screen, the featured ones will all come up first. So you'll see all the featured ads. So those ones actually cost you a little bit, but yeah, if you don't want to do that, there's also a free version. So go on and put your business on there, and everyone can call you and use your services. Rickster is sending another request. Do we let him on? Do we let Rickster on? I think we give it a go. Hang on, let's see. I'm going to run the gauntlet. I can get up to 4 people on here. A couple of times we've had 4. So if anyone else wants to join, feel free. If you feel like you've got something like sensible to talk about and something you want to talk to everyone about, or you'll help people with or something, yeah, jump on. So let me jump on with Rickstar. Review request. JJH should get on. Josh Jr. Get him on there, man. JJH, jump on. Hang on, what have I done here? Oh, I didn't press accept. Usually helps if I do that. Yeah, Jay Panam's here as well. Jump on, guys. Yeah, feel free. As long as we've got something good to talk about, feel free, man, because then we can let everyone hear our stories. Where did Rickster go? He didn't want to join. Oh, I thought he wanted to jump on. All right, Rickster, if you do want to jump on, man. Feel free. I'll have a bit of a drink while I'm having a rest. We've got a lot of people on here tonight. This is a really good turnout. So I really appreciate you guys taking your time out on a Sunday night. And I hope Sundays are still the favorite night, because when I did my survey, Sundays was still the favorite. And I feel like everyone can sort of, unwind from the weekend and then start preparing for the week. So that's why I thought Sundays is probably not bad. Rick's just saying he's sleepy now. Ah, okay. Oh, yes, to go to sleep. Oh, okay. Josh Junior Mac is saying not sponsored by Milwaukee. Don't make the cut. Oh yeah, where's Mr. Healy? Where's Mr. Healy? ADM Civil is saying always looking forward to it, mate. Yeah, thank you very much, Alex. Thank you. Always happy to have you on. So yeah, jump on, man. Jump on. We've only got another 20 minutes left. So if you feel like you want to jump in and offer some sort of conversation, jump in, feel free. Jay Panham saying that Mr. Healy will always have something useful to say. Yes, he does. He does. I like it, though. I like it because he'll say things as it is. Yeah, that's how it should be. That's how it should be, man. He's washing his D11. Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. Maybe he's got his poor son working hard on the little one ton or whatever it is. All right. Yeah, that's good. Good questions. So we had a couple of really good questions there about what to look for when you're buying a machine. So hopefully we answered that in good detail. We also, what else did we talk about? Joysticks versus hands and feet on bobcats. What else did we say? What 25 tonner is probably the one of the better ones to look at. We didn't really give a dedicated answer to that. I was saying I had a go in. Actually, I had a go in a SK235 as well. I was pretty happy with that. So the Cabalco was pretty good. The case was very nice to operate. The 235, very, very nice. But like I said, if you're going to get one, I will definitely say, especially if it's zero swing, definitely get one with a blade, man. Definitely. What have we got here? Jay Pantham saying they're all a bit hungover. Jaxis is a bit dusty. I think a lot of people are dusty today from yesterday. Sydney Rockwall Constructions is saying, ADM Civil, are you doing any digging tonight? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Last time we were on, he was digging at this time of the night, still working. So dedicated man. But he obviously is not digging tonight. Josh Jr. is saying JJH has a nice new Case 145. Yeah, they are a good machine, man. And JJH, yeah, I remember sending you the message saying congrats. That is a nice machine. The Case 145, one of my favorite 14 tonners, man. I reckon they're a really, really good machine. Nice and smooth, but powerful enough to be like a 20 tonner, but small enough and nimble enough to be like a 5 tonner. You know, it's like that really good in between. And as you're operating in there, it doesn't rock you around. I even had one with a tilting hitch and I wasn't rocking around on it. It was actually nice and stable. So I have to say it was really, really good. ADM Civil said, yeah, it was last Sunday. Yeah, that's right. 64 HFH. Hi, mate. Would be good to get into how to properly set up your earth moving company to protect yourself and personal assets from potential liquidation. That is a good one. We can talk about that. We've still got another 20 minutes or whatever. I can do it if you like. So if you really want to set up your company to protect yourself, one, definitely set it up as a trust fund. Set it up as a trust. Buy everything through the trust so that you own nothing personally. So guys, help me out here too. So anyone that wants to input, you can. But I'll give my quick input. Get yourself a trust fund. Buy everything in the trust. Don't buy anything in your personal name, because then that way it can be affected. When it's in the trust, it can't. Make sure you've got public liability. Nowadays, I think you want at least 20 million. A lot of companies are asking for 20 instead of 10. Insure all your vehicles. So make sure you see a broker. So make sure that you've got someone. So for instance, Chevron Insurance, if you want to use them, go to that podcast I did last week with John from Chevron, and you'll see what we talk about with insurance. But definitely get yourself a trust fund set up. So that's my recommendation. The boys are staring at each other here. There's too many comments. And 64 HFH is saying, yeah, that'll be good info for someone who wants to get into the game. Nigger in the Digger saying anything Japanese is good with pilot controls. So he's talking about which machines are good again. Where are we? Where are we? Bring on the Sunday digs. Everyone's stirring up ADM. And where is he? ADM saying he has heaps of things to do at his yard, so he can't find something interesting to do or to dig or shape. Yeah. And then 64 HFH is saying, be careful putting your house as a personal guarantee against gear. Very true, man. Very true. There's a guy in America that I listen to, the Mulder podcast. He's a landscaper in America. Probably someone that inspired me to do this. He always talks about he never buys anything unless he can buy it outright. So I don't know when it comes to big machines, if we can wait that long. Like, I don't know when I'll have 250 grand for a machine saved up. But he likes to say, he says that he prefers not to buy something anymore unless he buys it outright. And I suppose something like some of the reasons are that, yeah, if you don't have money and you need to loan to get a machine, you probably need to put your house up as a guarantee in that. And you've got to be really careful, because then you're starting to mix your house with your business, so your home with your business, and it can be very, very scary, because down the line somewhere it can get affected. You know what I mean? They can say, well, that house, you guaranteed against that machine, you've lost your business, go into liquidation. They'll take the machine and then they'll start looking at your property. Mountain Machinery is saying use equity in property to buy big machines. Yeah, you can. You can. What I did, and I spoke about this last week, is I got like a line of credit against my property. So what I did was I got, like the equity taken out and separated from the home loan, and then they gave me that amount to keep on the side and use for whatever I wanted to, and I ended up using it for my business. But you also got to be careful, because now that is also collateral against the home. So like what's his name was saying before, you got to be really, really careful. 64 HFH was saying you got to be careful not to put them all in the same basket. 1 second, my neighbours are all coming out. They always come out during my podcast. I reckon they wait and they go, all right, he's on the podcast, let's come out and start screaming and start making noise. They must wait outside. They must know. Sorry, guys, I'm having my little SPAC attack. Josh Jr. saying, if you're going to buy a machine with transport, do you look at floating or buying your own truck? I'll tell you what, Josh Jr. has got a lot of good questions. Hang on a second. I've got a million answers here, guys. My neighbours have confused me because they're yelling outside. 64, going back to purchasing the machines and making sure you're protected. 64 HFH is saying that, or have a deposit higher than the actual value of the machine, so it turns to shit fire sale. Will you get out? Okay, he's talking obviously about depreciation after COVID has killed a lot of guys. I can tell you a story about that. Depreciation after COVID has killed a lot of guys. Yes, I'll give you an example. I bought a few machines when they were handing out the asset write-off, and when I decided I'm going to start selling my machines off, I started selling the machines. Because I already got that depreciation back when I bought the machines, I didn't know that once you sell the machines within a certain time, they consider all the sale of your machinery as part of your income. So when you sell a machine or a truck, if you sell it for whatever price, that becomes part of your income. So then you get taxed on that at the end of your financial year. So that is a big thing to look out for. I had a massive tax bill last year, biggest I've ever had, because I sold my 14-tonner and my tipper all in 1 year. So just look out for that, man, because they consider all that depreciation that they gave you when you got the machine, and you didn't have to pay tax because it wrote it all off. They get you in the end. They come back and get you. The ATO never loses out. So I never understood it, and I was like, I don't understand why I'm paying all this tax. But my accountant explained it and said, yeah, you got all the depreciation, so you didn't have to pay tax when you bought the stuff, but they get you when you go to sell it. So yeah, now thinking about it, maybe I should have just held on to them, because the money I paid in tax, I probably could have just kept the machines and not even use them. Even if they were sitting around, it would have been cheaper than to just hold on to them and not have them working than to pay that massive tax bill, man. I call it getting shafted. So just be careful with that stuff. Find out how long you need to wait before you sell anything that you got the asset write-off on. I think it was maybe 5 years, but just double check that. Now, sorry guys, I've missed all these other questions. Josh Junior had a question. If you're going to buy a machine with transport, do you look at floating or buying your own? Oh, I think you mean if you're going to buy a machine that needs transport, do you look at buying a float? Oh, look at floating it or buying your own truck? That's a good question. This is where we were talking about the necessary evil with trucks. So if you've got a 5-tonner, for example, or you've got a posi track or compact loader, you need to move that around. Yes, it's better to have your own truck because then you can move it around whenever you want. You can go pick it up when you want, drop it off when you want. Then you've got the bonus of being able to move material that you dig out. So yes, it is good. Or you can get yourself a tray truck. Like I had a tray truck set up with augers on it, and that used to have my 5-tonner on there, and that was my drilling truck basically whenever I used to do like slabs. But that's an extra cost. So sometimes, and this is what I calculated at the end, so the last thing I ended up with was my 5-tonner and my posi. I got rid of my truck because when I calculated it, my truck was sitting there that often, and I was still paying insurance, still paying reg, still paying parking it, or parking, whatever you call it, storage, still paying repayments on it, whether I used it or not. And a lot of times I was on jobs where I just sit there for 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, and I figured out that all my yearly costs of holding that truck were probably still more than what it would cost me to just get that machine floated from job to job. Only because I stayed on jobs for a lot longer. But if I was moving jobs daily, then the truck would be a lot more handier. That's when the truck was really, really handy. So I hope that answers your question, man. But yeah, I would say if you're going to move around daily and do little jobs and you're going to need the tipper to move material often, yes, then getting your own truck is worth it. Maybe not getting a brand new truck if you're just going to use it as a combo, because you're not going to be like in it all the time. But if you're on jobs for longer term, like when I was working for these landscaping mobs doing commercial stuff, we'd be on the job for maybe 3-4 weeks. Sometimes even longer. If I'm on a civil site on a new estate, sometimes they keep me there for like 6 months. So then my truck would just sit at home and I still had that $3,000 a month repayment. And that's what in the end got me saying, you know what, I don't need the truck. So hopefully that answered your question, man. And then we're getting close to the end, so I'll try and hit all these questions quickly. Yeah, Nigger and the Digga saying no money in trucks. It's what's on the back of the trucks. That's where the money is. Definitely correct. Yeah, Mountain Machine, you're saying capital gain. 64. HFH is saying, yeah, that was shit. What was the time frame? You know what? I'd be lying, but I think it could be like 5 years or 3 to 5 years or something, and then you don't have to repay that depreciation. There's a timeline. I can't remember. Maybe someone can help, but there was a time frame. Oh, there you go. So Mountain Machinery is saying there's not an actual time frame. It's when you sell it for more than the written down value. Okay, yeah, okay. So then that's what you get done for. Because the thing is, I didn't make a profit on that stuff. So, you know what I mean? Like I actually sold them for a lot less than I paid. So that's my argument I had with the accountant. I was like, I haven't made profit on these, so why am I getting taxed on what I sold it for when I didn't even, that's not a profit. You know what I mean? That money is just going to all go back to the bank. That didn't come to me. So I didn't understand it, but he explained that it was because it was depreciated and I didn't have to pay tax at that time. I had to pay it this time. So I don't know. Anyway, 64 HFH. I feel like I've been rattling like a rattle gun. Hopefully I've answered all those questions as best as I hope. So surely you guys got something out of that. Drew Excavation has another question. Everyone's got the questions tonight. He's asking, what is the best roller brand? I don't know. I've used rollers. I just use whatever they've got on site. Like I don't really think about it. I don't know. What do you guys think? And 64 HFH is saying thanks, mate. Thank you. Thank you for the good question. Brent Samet is saying, oh, the Sakai or the Ham. There you go. Nigger and the Digga saying just get a rental one, any rental one. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. What's the ones I've used? Wait, I've used. I think I've been. Is there a cat one. I'm pretty sure there's a cat one. I think I was on a cat one once. I think on a Wacker Newson maybe. Bomags, that's the one. Bomags. I've been on a few of those. So it depends on what size as well you're talking about. Are you talking about like a little couple of ton one, or like a big 15-ton one, or a pad four, or it depends. Dynapack, on-site civil saying Dynapack. Drew Excavations that asked the question is saying he had a cat one. Yeah, the cats are not bad. Born Again OC saying a Bomag. 64 HFH is saying a cheapest roller with a Cummins in it. So anything with a Cummins, in other words. And then SEQ Dirtworks is saying any roller that has the coldest aircon. Yeah, that's if you're lucky if you get one with a cabin. Yeah, exactly. So all the ones I've used, I don't think I've ever actually used one with a cabin. They've all just been open cab ones. So yeah, I don't know. I just usually either rent one and just get whatever they give me. So I'll just call up the hire agency, hire company, just give me this, give me a roller, 2-ton, whatever I need, and they just send out whatever. Or if I'm working on the site and they've got one, I just jump on their one. So I don't know. I've never actually been, never really thought about it. Never really thought about it. Does anyone use the spray function on these rollers? Because every time I've jumped on it, there's either no water in the tank or the spray function doesn't work for some reason. And then what about when you hit a muddy spot and it catches and it gets caught all up on the roller, and then it just starts to block it up? Have you ever had to clean it? I did a job once. I had to get out and clean it after every few rolls. It was a pain, man. I had to scrape it all off. Even though they had the little scraper on there, it still just didn't work, man. There was this one job I did. I can't remember what it was, but it just kept getting blocked, and then it just kept packing up with material in there. Yeah, they're talking about using them for asphalt. Some of the guys here. Yeah, no, there you go, man. That's good. Thank you very much for your input, guys. Thank you. Very, very good. Good conversations tonight. Really, really happy that everyone's asking questions, joining in and giving feedback and that. So no, I really appreciate it. What else? Mountain Machinery. You're saying recycled DGB has too much mud in it. Yeah, true. It sticks to the drum. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right, man. So yeah, if you get something like that, it just sticks to the drum, and it's the worst, man. You got to try and scrape it off, and then they usually have like a plastic scraper stuck to them to try and scrape it while you're driving, and then that gets blocked, and then you got to try and lift it and clean under it. Painful, man. So Mountain Machinery is saying, yeah, make sure you use quarry products. Yeah, exactly right. Like you say, asphalt, crushed rock, stuff like that. You should only use it on that. Anything with a bit of mud in it, it just becomes a pain. What else, guys? Keep asking. While you're asking questions, I will make a couple of quick mentions. So the formalities. If you have a topic you want us to talk about in advance, let me know. I think we're going to do maintenance matters next week. So if you've got a maintenance question, send me those questions in advance, and I can get Aaron to work out the answers in advance and get them for you. And then we can hopefully get photos in that too. If you want to buy some merch, if you want to represent for Earthworks Hub, go to the website, click on shop, and it will take you to the store, and you can buy a whole bunch of stuff now on there. If you haven't subscribed, go to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, I've got heaps of people going on Instagram and TikTok. I need more on YouTube. So if you haven't done it yet, go to YouTube, subscribe on there as well. It's also Earthworks Hub. And also, you can listen to all these episodes. They all get uploaded during the week, and they're up on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. There you go. And otherwise, follow us on Facebook group, TikTok, and Instagram as well. Here we go. Drew is asking, what is the go-to brand for Earthworks? It depends. The go-to brand for Earthworks is Earthworks Hub. There you go. There's a quick answer. Atacama has a good answer about the tax benefits that I was talking about earlier. So he's saying that you get a tax benefit up front by writing off the asset, but when you sell it, the full sale amount is taxable since the asset book value is zero. There you go. That's exactly what happened to me. So the full sale amount is taxable. So what happened to me is I sold the machine, just say for 160 grand. Then I sold the truck for like 200, saying automatically to the amount of money I made for the year, I had like another 300 something thousand added as income. and then you can imagine what sort of tax bill I got for that. So that's exactly right, Atacama. That is a beautiful explanation, man. So going back to it, I'll clarify it. So when you use that asset write-off, where they gave us like 500 grand asset write-off, you get a tax benefit up front by writing off the asset. So you may not pay tax at that time because you've written it off. But then when you sell it, the full sale amount is taxable because the book value is zero now. So exactly right, man. Exactly right. Oh, and before you all go, MOBA are reminding everyone there's 5% off at the MOBA online shop as well. That's right. So I've said that about Earthworks, Earthmoving Warehouse. You also get 5% off on the MOBA online store. So use these codes, eWorks Hub, use them when you go on these stores. Go onto the website and you'll see all the partners there. And most of the partners, you can use that code and get discounts with them. So that's the whole point of me partnering with people, is trying to help everyone out. So go and use it, man. Get the discounts. Semco Hayden is saying, keen to see more machine reviews. The ones we've seen so far have been good. Ooh, Semco. Well, Semco Hayden, hit me up. Send me a message, man, on Instagram, and maybe we'll do some of your machines, man. I'm happy to come out and do something. So yeah, definitely hit me up, man. Let's see. Josh Jr. Josh Jr. saying 10% off all almond lattes. Yeah, that's right. If you go to MOBA, you get a free almond milk latte. You just got to come in there. He'll make one for you, especially for you. So yeah, there you go, man. Actually, I have to admit, I have to have almond or soy nowadays. I can't have full milk, otherwise I get massive stomach pains. I've become very lactose intolerant. So yes, I have to actually have those, or I just have short blacks now. No more milk. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. Mountain Machinery is saying you still wouldn't buy one. There you go. Sydney Rockwalls is saying Semco Hayden, get him to the Takeuchi. There you go, man. There you go. And Godings, yes, the new Kubota U17-5 next. What's it called? Is it next generation? Is that what they call it, or there's a different name for it now? Godings is also highlighting that there is a new one U17 coming up, or it's already out now, I suppose, and there will be a review coming of that as well. So keep your eyes opened for that one. Yeah, what is it? Just confirm again, Godings. Does it say next generation or next something? There was some different wording on there. Premium. Oh, similar, very similar. Next gen, premium, yeah, similar. All right. Yeah, Semco Hayden, give me a message. Mountain Machinery saying the new Coyote TL750 track loader. We sell them. Oh, there you go. Well, you know what? Hit me up, guys. If you want me to do some reviews or you're happy to do them with me, hit me up, man. Send me a message and we'll talk so we can do something. Thank you so much to everyone that has jumped on tonight. Semco Hayden, might have to do, I think you are going to DDT this year. Yes, I am, and I will see you there. So I will be at DDT this year. I'm going to be staying at some of my sponsor stalls. So I'll set up some times and schedule when I'll be at their stalls and send it out so you know where I'll be and at what times. And then you can feel free to come up and say hi. And I'll be floating around doing little product reviews and talking to all the different stalls. So you'll see me floating around. Josh Jr. saying you need to go to find JJH on job. Yeah, well, tell him to hit me up, man, and then we'll see. We can do something as well. So I'll always say, whatever, if you got ideas, if you got topics, you want me to do something, definitely send me a message. And Atacama saying, trust me, I bought the majority of my gear during COVID. I'm scared to sell. Atacama, if you want to have a chat, definitely send me a message too about that, because I can give you some pointers. Yeah, I got shafted, man, big time. Massive bill. I had to go on a payment plan to get rid of it. So put it that way. That's how big it was. So yeah, it got added automatically to my income for the year, which I already had. And then that on top of it smashed me. It killed me. So anyway, but yeah, definitely. If you want to have a chat, let me know as well, man. But there is some sort of time frame as well. Someone told me, like after a certain amount of time, it doesn't get wiped off, but it's not as big or something. I don't know, there's something about it. There's some sort of time frame. So maybe it might be worth looking into that. Okay, guys, I have gone over. I do appreciate everyone coming on. I hope everyone has a really, really good week. And yeah, like I said, if you've got some more stuff you want me to talk about, hit me up so I've got time to research it and get it ready for the next episode. yeah, if you've got some videos that you want me to post on your behalf, if it's something that you think is going to be really worthwhile to all the viewers, like what Jack has been doing, send them to me and I'll post them up as well. And look out for my posts during the week. Use all the discount codes. Go to Earthworks Hub, list your business on there, or use the businesses that are on there if you need subbies and stuff. So that's what it's for. Thank you very much once again. I'll see everyone on the next episode. Have a good week.